Welcome everyone to Beckoned Development Weekly Stream, episode 17. Hope everybody's doing good. We got Dwight with us tonight again. Yeah. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
We've got
Doing pretty good, man.
Scoots in the house. We got Art Jedi. Hopefully he didn't miss it. He'll pop in maybe later. We got we got Wizard in, and we got Reese in. Hey, yeah. All right.
The image is looking good.
Yeah, so guys, we're gonna get to lighting her today. I want to have a name for her, and
vote.
So I got some feedback in your background, D, but it's our, we'll work with it. Debbie Olson's over here, Bud's over there too, cranking away at some puzzles I've been giving them to do. But thank you guys for doing that. Yeah, tonight we're gonna be working on lighting Enelhs' mom and getting her done. I by the time she was done, I wanted to give her a name. And like I said, I had a name in the beginning, way years ago with this older concept. Man, I should have grabbed that for Dwight. You might have to entertain people while I try to. No,
oh, serious?
I think I put it away.
You put it away. I think you're gonna have to wait on it.
Anyway. I had this more complicated name for her back in the day, but I think I've been able to work it down a little bit more.
Gotta be a little bit careful with all these names that everybody looks at and goes, how do I say that?
Yeah, well, of course. But at the same time, that's more the strangeness. You can get learning, you can learn the...
I get it.
You can learn it, kind of whatever. We're trying not to make it too hard, but... With Enelhs' name being Enel,
could we put a dash in her name?
No, I have a name for her.
Oh.
So I'm gonna reveal the name.
Do we get a vote?
Huh? UFO? What?
Do we get a vote, or like it's already done?
I've already got a name.
Well, then why are we arguing about it?
You and me aren't arguing about it. I didn't know we were arguing about it. Are we arguing about it?
I don't know. Sounds like it.
All right. Anyway, think I have a name for her, guys. But like I said, gonna be doing some light. And we created the layers last episode, so we're just gonna jump into it. That's awesome, Wizard. Just plugging along. Yeah, a lot of Wizard's 3D print stuff is looking great. He's got these little
good.
These little boxes and stuff that he's.
So is that coming along better?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's good to have you back, man. And
that's gonna be neat when we can print off a bunch of Taj shoulders.
Well, he's these little boxes he got. It triggered ideas from one of our past episodes where we were talking about load-ins and stuff. So he's got these beautiful little package boxes, with little miniature grass, decorative stuff, and it just looks really good. So excited about that. All right, I got to get into this, guys, if we're gonna get anywhere to finishing her tonight. And if I don't finish, I'm not going to tell you the name. So, I hope everybody's been doing all right. I've been kind of quiet for this past week, especially on the gram and pretty much everywhere else. I found a place, I believe. Hopefully I don't get hoodwinked, but
yeah, I hope not too.
Everything's looking like it's lined up pretty well, so
good. I'm excited about some of the stuff that you and I have kind of discovered over the past week. So I'm hoping that turns out the way we want it to.
Crossfade
to kind of put that thing to bed.
Oh, put what thing to bed?
Well, so we've been working on some of the background. So there are background issues in the battle, but yet we're most people probably aren't looking at them, but yet we've got a quality control engineer that works for us that keeps kind of pointing out all kinds of stuff all over the place. And he's not wrong. It's just he keeps finding stuff. So we're working through those things. But we're actually gaining ground. We're finding the reasons for them causing us grief. So I think it's going to make a better product, and it's going to put something together that I think is going to look even better by the time we finally agree that it's ready to get it out and release. So I think we're close on getting you all something that we've been promising for a few weeks. I know that we're dragging this out, and that it's not quite the timeline that was promised or what you all think that it should have been. But I mean, it's one of those where Jeremy's mentioned quite a few times that if a bad game released early is always going to be bad. So we're trying to.
I believe it's a quote from the guy who basically like created Mario Brothers.
And if we could,
forgive me for forgetting
on
his
a
name.
little bit, so then you can delay a good game and it can still be good, but if you release a bad one, I mean, it's going to be bad forever. So I get it, and I respect that, because I don't want us to fall into that same cycle. So that's kind of where we're at. And good news is we're making progress, so it's not like we're stuck and trying to figure out what the heck's going on. It's just that we don't quite have that demo to give out and release yet. I mean, which is crazy, right? So I mean, we were so proud of some of the stuff that we were putting out last year, and then now it's so far beyond that, but we're apprehensive to release it. I just think that's crazy.
We're apprehensive because we're so close.
And so there's that potential for those few things for us to try, and it would be horrible of us to not at least explore those and try to see if we can't hash those out and clean them up, so that it would just be one less thing for everybody to go, you know what, wow, because that's what we want, right? We want that experience, we want that reaction, we want
the magic.
We want those wow moments, instead of, well, this is neat, but it could have this, or why did they leave that, and they could have took a little bit more time and made this better. So that's the thought. If we take and put forth that effort and delay it just a little to clean up those things that hopefully, and like I said, that they're probably things that you're not even going to notice, but that's the point. We want those things to be polished and taken care of, to where you can then focus on the other things that are going on and get lost in the artwork and the things that you're seeing, versus your attention gets drawn to something that we just ignored and didn't feel like fixing. So I hope that explains it. I hope that's not drumming on too much. I hope I'm not blabbing. I wanted to put that out there, because we are making some progress. We are getting some things done. I mean, I even some of the other stuff that you've sent me, Jeremy, to help kind of increase some of the professionalism that we've put in, some of the artwork and the items and other sprites that you've sent, just to kind of doll those up.
Can I ask you a quick question on that?
Yeah.
In our UI, like inside the menu, in the inventory, the boxes that display the items, Are those
Yes.
perfect squares?
I honestly, I'd have to look, man. I mean, I
Okay,
think I think they are, because what you sent me.
Wasn't a perfect square, and that's what got them to squish a bit.
But now what you've updated and sent me, the 460 by 460s.
Yeah.
They fit.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping for.
Now they did scale down just a little bit,
Yeah,
because of the size.
Yeah, but is it
they
readable?
Look clean. They look clean.
Okay, as long as it's readable, or I might have to do what's called chibi versions of them.
Sure.
So, but you know,
well,
so
but
I was just wondering.
I'm getting ready to. Once we get a little bit more of that background figured out that I was talking about, once we get that a little bit further along, I'll send you the next build that I'm sitting on, and it'll have that in it. Or I can always just take a snapshot of it and just say, hey, here's what it looks like. Here's what that turned out to be, and then you could let me know. So basically what it was is, so what you saw before, they were blown up in that box and almost maximized inside, where now they've been more brought down just I would say 20%.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah. Somewhere in that area. It still looks good. It doesn't look bad. So I think it's okay.
I'm wondering if I've got Bud hopping up and down over this shoulder. Do you know how many talks we've had over this shoulder?
No kidding. Well, you better get it right.
That's what I'm saying. Where are you at in the comments, Bud?
He's quiet.
I know. I kind of figured he'd jump in and go, oh, he's working on it. No. Yeah.
he did say clavicle or
oh,
clavicle?
Did he? Yeah. Okay. Clavicle.
So your anatomy's a little off.
Yeah. So you did catch me. Go ahead and keep talking. So
no,
I don't
want to just ramble, But I mean,
keep going. It's good.
The thing is, I mean, there's those improvements like you've talked about, trying to do you're going to polish, and then you're going to polish some more, and then when you think you've done it, you're going to polish some more, and so I get it, where you're even saying that some people could ask, hey, why have you polished this so much? And the thought is, because we're underdogs.
Yeah, I mean,
we're the two guys right now putting this together, and we need people to say, hey, those guys look serious. Those guys have spent how much time, and just the two of them gotten all of this taken care of, and wow, that's what we want. And so the polish has a reason, because like we talked about, we don't want you all to play it and go, they missed this piece. Center of the neck too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought too.
And so a little bit of movement on maybe some musicians, I think you had said, right? Or
yeah, a few guys from Instagram ended up, communicating with me, and we talked for a bit, and he's a really cool guy.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a couple of them that have communicated. So,
okay.
Like I said, until we start raising some money, so I can pay artists. I don't want them.
That is true. But the good news is to at least have
establish. Yeah.
That are interested and would like to partake.
Yeah,
you know,
and
that's
communication.
Yeah, that's important.
Oh, it's been good though. A lot of good talent, you know. And you know what was fun about it is he was asking me what kind of sounds I was looking for. You know, like instruments, things.
Okay.
And if he watches this and says, "Oh, I didn't ask that," then maybe I rambled on about it. Because when Kenton was making the soundtrack you guys are hearing now, that's kind of where we were running with, is this kind of synthy sound, but also, you know, anyway, you can hear a lot of drums and stuff in it, like very, very primitive sound to some of it, you know.
So that's kind of maybe what's confusing me is, and maybe I need to think about this for a second. But so we're using all these earthy tones and colors. So to me, wouldn't you try to go more towards like an earthy?
Oh, Fenix and Jenna are in here. Hold that. What's up, guys?
Good.
What's up?
You're good.
Thanks. All right, keep going, D. Sorry, just had to shout out.
But you get what I mean. So there's a part of that of you know, do you really want to get that synth sound that's kind of more that futuristic with something that you're kind of almost doing more earthy, or am I off base?
You're all right. There is a soundtrack that I can send you a link to and listen to when you're having your, you know, your days or whatever.
Sure.
And anybody, if you know which one that I'm talking about, you could scream its praises. It's been voted one of the best soundtracks for RPGs is Chrono Cross. So I've mentioned Chrono Cross a few times. I'm not just biased because it's my favorite game. The soundtrack was done by Yasunori Mitsuda, who's worked on a lot of those 90s RPGs, especially when it was just MIDI files. So melody's his strong point. Oh yeah, Joe was telling me that the Mandalorian and Kenton was telling me a Mandalorian's got some good synth stuff as well. But yeah, like Fenric says, is Chrono Cross has an insane. It's not only did the guy, and I guess that video I sent you about Chrono Trigger and how the musician composed.
And then lost it all and had to kind of rebuild it and everything.
Yeah. I mean, the people that they get to compose a lot of those games, they're legends for a reason, you know. So when I talk to some of these guys on from Instagram and stuff, they're asking me what kind of noise, what kind of sound am I looking for, and I'm like, you know, Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda, throw in a little bit of Sigur Rós in there, and the primitiveness of Hyalung. It's some very primitive Viking-esque type, and I'm only saying it because a lot of their instruments are stretched like leather and bones and stuff. So the very primitive sound, kind of industrial rock sound from them too, but it's very ethereal. It's not really like, you know, except for the whole, you know, and it's got the throat singing in it. We were talking about throat singing a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
so.
You and I talked about that. Now to me, there's also another part of this when you're doing the world building and such. I mean, to me, then you also throw into this each different region.
Would have its own different sound.
Divanis is going to have a certain, sound that's going to be regional to them, and so you might have more of that throaty, Viking-esque from the Falls, where you might have something a little bit different up in, Tulabanya and something more fluty. So I think that's
where I get a lot of, like, when I listen to Sigur Rós, I get a lot of that ethereal, progressive rock, triumphant. I really feel like that's in certain key emotional moments in the story, but they have to be triumphant. Like, they have to get the audience to feel that aha in it, that power. But and Sigur Rós does that because they're all percussion majors, but they play different instruments, so they slowly build something that sounds simple and calming. Each song's 8 stinking minutes, but it grows and it grows. And
well, but that's, throwing out a shout out right now. That's where some of this stuff I thought was interesting. I told you early on, listening to Opeth, there was certain stuff where they're just real melodic with where they are, and dude, it was just, I don't know what it was, but something with that took me to where, you've got the story of Taj, where he's just starting to kind of figure things out. And I don't want to divulge a lot because I'm not sure how far. But
I've also rewrote that section too. But it
took me there. You know what I mean? So almost when I hear that song now and that melody kicks in, it still takes me to that story section that you had, and it probably always will now. But that's those things that I think could just be, like you're saying, the music is going to be very, very important. That's where your emotion's going to come from.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the excitement is going to be fueled from. And if it's not correct, it can ruin it.
And I think having voiceovers is a fun idea for us on this prototype, but I do think the final game, it's a very expensive venture, and then very hard to find the right sound for specific characters.
Sure. Yeah. So
in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and a few other of those older games, we actually had an older build that did this. Like, you would walk up to the character and they would make a grunt or a noise.
Right.
And then the dialogue would come up.
But so our thought behind it back then.
My worry is just casting the 3 kids. That's my worry. I don't think I'll ever find the right one.
And so we were working on the thought of, we almost want that to be the sound that you want it to be. Is Blander sound? Does Blander sound like your grandfather, or does he sound like your next door neighbor? That's we all kind of wanted that to be up to you all a little bit. As far as Taj, the thought was that's you. You're the player, you're the character. So your sound in your head, that's you saying what Taj is saying. So that was some of the thought behind that.
Yeah, it was. I'm just saying, I'm still kind of feeling out the whole, do we voice over all the NPCs or not? So.
I say still.
We'll talk about it later. There's other mechanics we can deal with communication.
I say we still entertain it.
Yeah, for right now, it's fun. It's fun to do. Takes me back to high school acting a little bit.
I just thought it was neat to be able to mess with the pitch a little bit.
Yeah.
And because I know your voice, I can hear it.
Yeah, but a few people didn't know I did that. That know me well enough. They're like, "What? That was you?"
So that part's cool, right? Because we were able to nearly, add 200 pounds to you, and then we were able to take off, 50 pounds and make you 18. It was just by throwing a little bit of pitch to it, and you did some voice acting to it as well.
Yeah.
But the pitch really helped turn that, and that was cool.
All right, Art Jedi, sweet. I'll check that out. The Who.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's me and Dwight were talking about them last time. Yeah.
They're the ones that have that throat singing, sound like Viking. It sounds like the intro to the Vikings.
Well, they are. To Art Jedi's comment, that's the band that opens up the Fallen Order Star Wars game. It's awesome. It's really cool. But yeah, the music videos that they've recorded and put on YouTube are pretty awesome to watch too. So
I like that Mongolian kind of twist to it. It's cool. I dig it. But I guess that that's part of it, right? I mean that's gonna bring some of that emotion and those things that we're gonna want into this, and we're gonna have to get that right.
Yep. So I haven't done any symbols or sigils except on like the Shot Kid dash, but once I start getting a lot more of that focus down on, which I do, I just haven't had time to jump into it yet, but yeah, is designing their flags, their sigils, and how a lot of that works. So when I bring that up, it's like I hear those different tones. We were talking about music and differentials, between cultures. So it'd be really neat if the sigils can be easily recognizable with their music and be kind of thematic too. And one of the guys I was talking to was saying that oh crap, lost where I was talking about because I was reading Art Jedi. He was talking or asking how much variety and stuff I'd be wanting to go into. And so I think I lost where I was, and I tried to catch up. Maybe I failed. My bad.
You sucked me into it, so I don't know where you were at either.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you watch an entire play of it, though. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome game. But, yeah, I mean, just the variety that Chrono Cross, the soundtrack, has in it. And, because it covers a bunch of different cultures, so... Also, for Divanis trying to do the same thing, like... These different cultures, these different towns, they have to have a theme. Oh yeah, now I'm back to where I was. He was asking me about character themes and, battle themes, and do the battle themes change for every environment, or every dungeon, or, just things like that. We were talking about modular music instead of tracks like you're hearing now, but more modular, meaning we can turn on and off, instruments, depending on where you are in the game. So it'd be like a threshold in the programming you would have to make that once we cross it, a new instrument kicks on, or channels are turned on, but there's a consistent composition being played the whole time. So basically there's never a moment where you get no sound unless it's intended, for dramatic effect. But
yeah, man, there's so many different areas. I mean, so with this one, we were kind of just going to focus more on like Burketh, Tulabanya. So I mean, I guess that kind of helps a little bit on some of the music scope, right?
Well, huh?
Well, I mean, as far as like how many other areas of Divanis are going to be a part of this episode, basically. I mean, so it's not like we've got to figure out.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean. You see that big giant map, and we're only going to a few places during the
right.
Sorry, guys,
so
not
now,
to really trick you, but we're only going to a few places.
We've got a few regions to kind of figure out what kind of their music style would be preferred.
Let's see how far. Okay, I got a lot of mess to smooth out. Where are we at? 30 minutes. Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and start. But yeah, so guys, hope everything's been good for you this week. Everybody's been doing well. Art Jedi.
Healthy, hope.
Say what?
Being healthy, we hope.
Yep, staying healthy. Jedi, if you've been watching, all I've been doing is a very simple ideal of the top light is just hitting all the planes of the body that are facing that light, and then kind of I'm using a smudge brush to kind of round those off. In traditional art, don't smudge your work, is my opinion. Others would probably, be willing to argue with me. But in digital format, smudge all day, in my opinion. So just to get a little bit of something about what I'm doing right now. I throw in light basically where I think the planes are facing, and then just make them look good. So if it takes someone with a microscope to go through and do all the measurements and trajectories like Joe does, and find out that maybe it doesn't hit over there, maybe it doesn't hit over there. Well, Monet was successful too, so was Picasso, so we'll work. As long as it's readable, we're fine.
Yeah, so you're not making mistakes.
No, happy accidents.
They're happy accidents.
Well, if you want to get into a little bit more woo-woo concepts, there's this idea of automatic drawing, and that's a lot about what I do. As I said in some of the other episodes, is doing concept art the way I do it isn't really, you won't see a professional really do that, if I'm not mistaken, because they're making a product for someone else to be happy with. So there's iterations that you have to go through. So there's practices that you do to make this whole process, although it's sharp and it's clean, the hours that it's taken to get this product, imagine having to do this 8 times. Because I'm the one kind of designing the character, and I'm the one giving it the okay or the, no-go, I kind of get to skip a lot of those steps and just go right into the creation and kind of live with my decision. In life, not everybody looks perfect or has the perfect color scheme or or anything like that. So I kind of play off of, those oddities being life. The oddities of life just kind of playing out in the art. So it's freeing, but at the same time, is it exact? Would it be considered a masterpiece? Well, no, because it's got its improvements it could have had along the way. But if if I had a whole animation team like Studio Ghibli, we would probably make sure everything is on good. Yeah, planes of the body. Yeah, it's once you kind of, and that's why I was telling you about working more in 3D stuff a little bit too. Like even Play-Doh, it helps you.
That tastes good.
It tastes good. But you get to move it around and see how light moves around certain, shapes. Take a kneaded eraser and break it apart, and watch it when it gets so brittle it breaks apart and creates all these different textures. Just, and see how light works with all that. And then mark making, just throw down random marks and see, how different mark making can affect your texture creation. So I don't know. Like I said, Joe's the one to learn from, so he's a bit more technical in his explanations. But
I'll have to share this with you later.
Yep, Scoots, I do. not safe for work.
That just really does a lot of enhancements to this, though. I mean, it just does start to bring it alive. So you're doing a really good job.
Thanks. I just think we're gonna get through one layer, though. I might get a little bit of shade started, and that allows Bud to call me, you know,
and tell
me
wrong.
about that clavicle, and you know, I should do the work and find it myself. But you want to actually learn? Have an old master himself call you and berate you and chew you out about it. That's how you learn.
Huh. Who would have thought?
You'll never forget it. Well, have you ever seen the movie The Kingdom of Heaven?
I don't think so.
Okay. There's a moment in it where Liam Neeson's son, Orlando Bloom, is knighting him, and he slaps him across the face and says, "That's for you to remember."
I've not seen it. I know which one you're talking about. I have not watched it yet. No.
It's a good movie. I like it anyway.
Did you watch any of the Norsemen yet?
No, I haven't had a chance.
Yeah,
I'll get into that when it.
Yeah.
So I'll get into it. What site streaming? What's it on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like almost kind of like a modern, like Monty Python Viking kind of thing. It's funny.
Good, I'll check it out.
Definitely made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna be making another round here soon with scoots of some Bebo jelly balls.
Yeah, you need to tell me how that turned.
I will. I'll tell you the recipe too, but not here. If anything, it's gonna be our 7 herbs and spices, dude. You know.
I will tell you, I took that sourdough beer bread that I made, and then just made the breakfast toast out of it with throwing an egg in the middle.
Yeah.
Dude, that turned out.
Really we're starting to talk about food again on Josh.
Yeah,
but
that turned out really good.
No, Josh, the idea is like if you can create something that's fun and tasty, but it's different. Like you didn't get your own recipe from it. It turns out really awesome, and you send it to us, and it could be featured in the game. I'll do a drawing of it. You'll get an actual sketch that, I'm pretty sure I said I'll frame it. Yeah. What's up? What's up?
Something that you can put in a backpack for a month. Let's figure that out.
Huh?
Nothing. Sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Weren't we talking about doing, stuff that can keep well, right?
Oh yeah. Nah, the real ones won't keep that well.
Yeah,
no.
You're gonna have to keep it in a backpack for 30 days and see if it still tastes good.
No, that'll be alright. Yeah, dinosaur chicken nuggets. It's good. Yes. Scoots had a really awesome idea that she hasn't told me about on the wrapping of the jelly ball.
Oh yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes, but the base jelly ball is delicious and customizable. So
what the heck would you wrap it with that would be edible?
Amazing. That's what.
Deliciousness.
Yep. And it's hard to argue once you see it.
Had a buddy of mine that I worked with, and so like this may be trademarked. I may not be able to use it, but I'm going to anyway. And so his go-to was maximum deliciousness.
Vile meat, is that a suggestion that you're going for, Carson? I don't have a vile meat item, but
that kind of sounds not appetizing.
Nah, I wouldn't really go for the vile meat aspect.
However, that could be a hunting item.
I mean, you could probably find an item that would spoil over time, but then we're talking about different type of mechanics.
Hey, you never know, man. Like some old sat out liver could be the Miglot bait.
Oh yeah.
Think about it. Looks like a catfish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then, like I
think what you got them started on, Carson.
Everybody can figure out what that would smell like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Reese. Kind of like the dubious food in Breath of the Wild. It's like you can cook some stuff and then it just turns out bad, you know. But
I think it's neat though, because that's something that everybody can relate to, you know, and so bringing that involvement and that thought and creativity into this, I think that's gonna breathe some extra life into it. I do think that's.
If that was a wholesome suggestion, Carson, great. That was a good one.
No, we're just messing. Never know. Like I said, though, I mean that could that sure as heck could be like a hunting item. And we've talked about doing that, kind of having some bait that you lay out and be able to hunt with. So
and
I mean,
maybe some bait is vile meat. Yeah,
that's not out of the question.
No, not at all. He's just really excited about it, so I'm trying to figure out if it's like sarcasm or not. I don't know.
Kathleen's wondering if you put mustache on those toes. No?
How do you put a mustache on toe?
I'm kidding. I'm just twisting her words a little bit.
No, I'm gonna say it's a shadow. That's what I'm gonna say.
Go with that.
I'm gonna go with that because I don't know what that is.
It's all good.
Mustache, huh?
But you know, I mean, so I guess you know.
Oh, by the way, we're sponsored by Manscaped. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
just
right.
joking.
But part of it, you know, Art Jedi. So the reason somewhat we went into the food thing was we were thinking about, you know, stuff that would be packable, stuff that you would be able to, or even as kids. I mean, think about something that you might have packed and took with you, like on a hike or to go play in the woods with your friends, kind of thing. I mean, like, what were some of those things that you'd grab and go? I mean, like, you're not going to have a Capri Sun,
right,
and a pack of Pop-Tarts out on Devonis where we're at, you know. I mean, so thinking about something more homely and more custom that maybe even, you know, like your grandmother would have possibly put together and had for you to go play in the woods, kind of thing. That's kind of where we're headed.
And I want to draw it and feature it in the game if it's awesome, you know, and then send you guys an actual framed version or like picture of it so you can hang it in your house and be like, heck yeah, I cooked this and now it's in a video game.
Yep, and you know, and the dead baby chicken leg with the foot on it, and the sneaker.
Okay, just trying to make sure that's not Carson suggesting you're not reading Carson. I'm just trying to make sure it's not more vile meat comments. I had to break away for a second. But yeah.
All right. So glad Kathy made it. Good to see you.
Yes.
She was the one talking about the mustache. So hopefully we can clear that up.
No, it's the sole of the foot, sole of the sandal, mustache. If it's like that, it's kind of like wearing a sandal.
Maybe I could see that.
I don't know.
It's
You know what? It is my mom, by the way. So, Mom, just think it's a mustache. Let's go with that.
It could be.
Let's just go with feet mustaches exist in this world for a minute.
It sure could be. I wonder if maybe you were somewhere else, but it's all good.
She said on the toes, didn't she?
It was very funny though. No, I said the toes.
Is that a mustache or a shadow?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I added that because I thought it would be funny.
Oh, okay. No mustache.
Yeah. So I mean, it just, like I said, back kind of on the food thing with Art Jedi, just to try to help kind of explain that. I mean, there was a little bit of a reason for it, just because we were trying to help kind of bring that into the game, and then maybe even have VIP members, kind of like the ones that are on here, the early adopters that are helping us get this thing going, giving them some buy-in and kind of giving them some ability to talk to us about what they thought, or even create and experiment and play around and see what they could come up with.
Warrens and Dino Chicken Nuggets.
What? Okay, I'm gonna play the dumb card here. What are those?
What? Dino Chicken Nuggies?
Yes.
I guess it's just in reference to dinosaur chicken nuggets that Art Jedi talked about.
And I don't know what those are. What am I missing? Is that like the supersized chicken nuggets at McDonald's or what? I got lost.
No, he was just making a joke, I think. Like, I'm reading the comment, did you ever make Jeremy dinosaur chicken nuggets when he was...
So now Reese is going to give me...
hold on. Yeah, Reese is going to... all right. Explain to us, Reese. Yeah, how do we not know about dinosaur chicken nugget? They're shaped like... Okay.
So dinosaur chicken nuggets like animal crackers, kind of.
So were those in like the kid cuisine meals, or
So
is that where they came from?
What are those shapes that McDonald's uses?
It's a boot and an egg, I think. Rest in peace, my child. Yeah, but are those like? Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Like the kid cuisine frozen meals. That's what I thought.
I'll tell you what I miss, and tell me if I'm wrong. But man, I miss those the tortilla pizza rolls. The little bitty pizza rolls, man. I miss those.
They're go buy some.
I know, but man, I haven't had any in like, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Dude, you better do it before they go out.
I don't know why.
Rona season, someone's gonna be addicted to them and buy up all of them like you did the toilet paper.
It's funny because they're like, everybody's like, well, they still make them. It's not one of those things that I've just sat there and I eat real food now.
Dude, get some ranch sauce and a packet of pizza rolls and go nuts. Live a little.
I'm about to probably, like, right after this, probably go buy some pizza rolls.
Becky's gonna be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
living a little.
So even with that, man, what was it? I think we were talking about fried bologna sandwiches that we used to eat.
Yeah.
When I was little.
Yeah, I still do from time to time.
And so she looks at me and she's like, really? And it's like, no, yeah, fried bologna. Oh my gosh. And so all of a sudden that thought just popped in my head, and I'm smelling it, right? And my brain's going, oh my gosh, you need to go buy some bologna, and you need to make a bologna and cheese, and do that. And
yeah, right. Everyone's like,
and so
ew.
my brain just hyped it up, right? And I go get a package of bologna and some cheese and come home, and I'm all excited and get the bologna, throw it in the pan, and then take and cook it up, and then all of a sudden eat a piece, I chew into it, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't what I remember it being. I don't know what it is, but my brain just remembered it being so much better.
Hey, Scoots, bangarang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I mean. Just sometimes when you think, oh my gosh, I haven't had that in so long, and I can't wait to have that, and then you do, and you're disappointed. That's
right.
That's where. But no, dude, this is looking really good.
Yeah. Once the shading goes in there, it's gonna pop it out a lot more, especially in the face.
Really will. I mean, I remember when you did that with Taj, and it just gave it so much more depth, man. It looked really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And to pull that into the game and have him lit and shaded, I'm with you. That just put it on another level.
Do you remember me talking about the possibility that I wasn't going to do that? Then I made the Miglop enemy, and I couldn't feel right about that enemy unless I gave her light and shade. And once I did that, I kind of screwed myself in going, well,
you did it that way.
You're going to have to do it to all of them.
Right. So then it did make it look out of place because of that.
But like even in Snow White and many Disney movies, and even in many animes and everything, the backgrounds are like painterly, right? Because they're a lot of the time they're static. They're static things that are moving maybe slightly, maybe quite a lot more dynamic films over the years. But a lot of the characters are two-tone shaded because you're animating it. It's going to be moving, so you want that movement to read well, and a lot of the time if you're not shading just right, a lot of things don't read well. And to keep the consistency through the frames of animation with the shade without them starting to flicker, that's something I've had to teach myself how to get around, and that's what we've got now. And does it take time, but the look is so it just makes the style. So I'm glad I did it. I'm also kicking myself in the nuts over it, so we'll work on it.
It added some extra work to it, but man, the dynamic and the added visuals that you brought to the characters on that game, man, it's just phenomenal. I mean, and then for I guess for the surprise that we put at the end that we're not showcasing yet. I mean, it added so much more to that as well. You know what I mean?
And that's where the voice acting for the kid or for Todd
is going. Yeah,
that's where I was wanting it a little bit, but
I get it. And man, it can, but it's just one of those where we'll get there. I think if we want that voice acting for those, then we can. But I get it. You're talking about trying to find that right now, and if it's not right, then leave it out.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, did you? My filter wasn't on, so I didn't catch it.
It was probably me. She wouldn't say that. She wouldn't be that about you. It was probably me.
Oh, she might. because I get it. But no. So I mean, just you bringing that extra into those scenes with the characters. I mean, once we started dropping those Taj sprites in that were lit and shaded, I mean, it brought so much more life to that scene. I mean, you did a darn good job with it. It looks good.
Thank you. We're working it out. And you popping them in, making them looking good, so, and
like
working
I said,
right.
But that wasn't very difficult. I mean, that was just taking and just doing an ad. And I mean, that was a drag and drop.
Oh, guys, I was talking to Bud about this.
Stop messing it up.
No, it's not that. I just needed to not concentrate on what you were talking about for a second. Keep going.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What am I messing you up?
Nope. I had to really read what I was doing right there. I talked to Bud about, because she's blocking her eyes.
Right.
I would have to drop a shadow across her face.
Right.
Which.
Well, even the hat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the hair down here, all that's basically got to get, basically covered and reworked and then reblended in. So, yeah.
Yep, that's where if you had that magical algorithm that would just do it for you, you'd be fine.
Yeah, and then I'd be out of a job.
Oh, we'd find something for you to do. We'd figure it
out. How many minutes we got left, guys? 3 minutes. Yeah.
3 to fill it with some stuff. So we'll make it. We're doing good. At least you got into the shading part, so that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to slow down. I wanted to show that shade, guys. How is it looking?
It's definitely got a lot more dynamic to it, man. You're doing good.
Yes, our Jedi cell shading. It's or is that what? Were you asking why I didn't mention it, or is that it's called cell shading or two-toned, where it's just the flat colors and a shadow. A lot of animation from the old like 80s and early 90s basically just had those two elements. And I'm willing to discuss and learn lessons on that if people could show, because there are examples of people doing more dynamic shading in those eras as well, because we hadn't learned other programs to help us do the work quickly. So, I mean, with Beckoned, are we working everything the longest way that we need to? Then not as hard as it could be. But yeah, we're kind of taking the long way around of doing hand-drawn art at this scale, so trying to have a little bit of, legitimacy to everything that's going on. Sorry, I got spaced out again looking about what's going on. All right, good night to you.
You get lost in your... Got lost in your artwork, huh?
I was trying to answer a question and noticed Mom said goodnight, guys. So good night, Mom.
And I said night.
So, looks good. Don't think I said it last time, but I loved your. Oh, thank you. All right, thank you. I'm glad you like the color scheme. That's awesome. It's awesome. All right. Warren, if you're still here, have a good weekend, Fenrix. See you next time, hopefully. Thanks for dropping in again. Reese, thanks as always.
Same here.
Art Jedi,
appreciate it.
Dude, awesome for you to show up again. Joe's got some news popping out soon. If you've been keeping up with him, go check him out. He's got some great news popping up, and he's been giving me a few calls. So, Warren, later. Scoots, I can't wait till we get to those jelly balls. So, woohoo!
That's going to be
That's
cool.
going to be awesome.
Thanks everybody for showing up.
Everybody, you all have a good weekend. Be safe. We love you.
I'm going to go buy some pizza rolls.
You guys, well, we hope to see you next time. If you haven't yet subscribed in, hit that like button. It helps the algorithms out. As soon as I get 100 of you guys subscribed, then I can have that fancy YouTube /Zade Studios link, and so anyway, that'd be a lot easier to share with everybody. But we need to get popular.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets. Yeah, I'll try to look for those.
Yeah. Dinosaur chicken nuggets. We'll get to them.
Peace out, everybody.
They might be in the same frozen food section, Dwight.
Maybe.
Guys, thank you all again.
Later.
We love you.
Bye. You still on?
Yeah, I'm still on. But I've got this screen out here saying, hey, at least we could say we were together today. What, are we not off yet? Are you having a...
We're not still live, are we?
Oh yeah, we're still live right now.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, hold on.
Thought you were gonna kill it.
Guys, we will talk to you again another time. We have had a more gracious landing before.
That's your bloopers for the weekend.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. Later.